Hey everybody, Mntdewmania here. Welcome back to Vox Populi and the ever-growing, ever-expanding Redneck Rants. I am struggling today with the fact that I've got too much going on. And that is sort of what my rant is about today. If you've been keeping up, I sincerely hope you have. J is for juggling. Now, I don't know, I know some of you guys, I know roughly how old you are, where you are in your life. Some of you I don't. We haven't had time to sit down and chit-chat about it. But there comes a time in everybody's life that you have to start concentrating on more than one thing at a time. And in order to do that, you have to juggle things. Now, the definition from the handy-dandy dictionary, the one that I need for this rant, is to manage or alternate the requirements of two or more tasks so as to handle each adequately. Now, that is a lot easier said than done sometimes. Now, some of you will probably say, well, I can multitask and not even break a sweat. You will not be alone, because the always lovely Ellen DeGeneres said, I like being busy and juggling a lot of things at the same time. I get bored easily, so I need a lot to do. Now, some people are like that. The more, it seems like the more jobs they have going on in their lives, the better off it is. I have known people like that. It's like they thrive. I don't know if it's the pressure that they're thriving on, but it's something. It just seems like the more they have going on, the more they have to handle, the better they are. I mean, they're just, they're just a driven kind of people. Now, most people kind of fall in the middle somewhere. You can handle a couple of things going on, and you can handle it well. Job and kids, or career, exercising, whatever it is. You got 2 or 3 things going on, and then everything settles down, and you're okay for a while, and then you jump right back into it, and even that, after a while, has a rhythm, so you kind of get used to it. And you think to yourself, I really do want to start going to the gym. Can I juggle that with everything else I go on? I've got all this work to do, and I've got all this after school stuff to do. Do I really have time to run track, or, and you think to yourself, yeah, I can handle it. Psh, not a problem. So you put one more thing in your schedule. And yeah, for a while it's a little tougher. You got to, jiggle some things around to get everything to work right. But eventually you get it all smoothed out, and everything's fine again. Okay? So, but there comes a point that I think some people just bite off a little more than what they can chew. And it's not fun anymore. It was fun for a while doing track and swimming and baseball and basketball and football, I was just in this club. Now I'm in 2 or 3 clubs because all my friends are in 3 or 4 clubs, and they want me, and then I've got practice, and how am I going to study for this test? And before you know it, you have got so many things in the air at one time. The best you can do is pray that none of them are made out of glass, because when you start dropping them, they all going to explode on you. And that can be a bad thing. Now, like I said, some people get to the point where, I mean, it's just not fun anymore. Amy Grant said, the fact is, when I'm on tour, I'm juggling so hard to keep all the balls in the air that I don't often get to really enjoy what I'm doing. Now, a lot of people fall into this category. They get so, I mean, at first, when you're juggling everything fine, everything's fun. Oh, I love going to so-and-so, and I love going to dance class, and then, right after that, I got band practice, and I mean, then I'm doing this, this, and this. And while everything's up in the air and running smoothly, it's fun. But there is going to come a time when, I'm telling you, if you get too much going, it is going to crash all over you, and just nothing is going to be fun at that point, So, there is going to come a point where you're going to have to stop and say, do I really need this extra whatever in my life? I mean, am I going to have to consider about giving something up in order to do this? I mean, what are you willing to sacrifice in order to have this new thing? I know a person, and I kid you not, they have 3 kids. She's a single mom, and I am not lying. The lady works 3 jobs. Okay, all of them are part-time, but I'm telling you, it's full-time hours, because the kids are getting to the age now that they want to do stuff in school. They want to run track and do things like that, and one of them's in the band. She has to go to band practice, and one of them's in dance class, and she has to go to dance practice. And I have watched this lady for a long time, just juggle and juggle, and it just seems like the more she gets on her shoulders, the better she performs, for lack of a better word. It's like she thrives, and I mean, I'm not talking that at the end of the day, once she gets everything done, she's the most hateful person in the world. She is just so cheerful and happy, and it's just like she needs all this stuff in her life. I do not know how she juggles it all. I could not do it. I would go insane trying to keep up with what she does. There's just no way. But like I said, some people, the more they have in the air juggling, the better they are. They work good under pressure. They can, multitask. I mean, just nothing seems to fall out of place, Some people, they can get 2 things going in their lives, and it just absolutely confuses them so bad they don't know which way to turn. And sometimes I wonder, why do we do this to ourselves? Why are we so intent on having so many things going in our daily lives that we can't enjoy any of it? What's the fun of, well, I got to be here at 2, and I got to be here at 2:30, and I got to be here at 2:45, and so has to be here, and, blah, blah, blah. And then you look up, and the whole day is going, and it's like, well, where's my time? Well, it can get so chaotic so quick that, I mean, you're so busy having a life and trying to juggle everything to do, you don't live. You exist just to do your juggling act, And most of the time you're so worn out and tired at the end of the day. Did it really make a difference in your life? Did it help at all? I mean, at what point do you say, okay, look, enough's enough. If I'm, somebody's going to have to step in and help me here, because if I'm juggling A, B, and C, you're going to have to juggle 1, 2, and 3. And, you get more people in on the act. Then, when you're trying to juggle 10 or 12 things, and you can spread it around a little bit, it's not so hard to do. But, I mean, I think we have to be conscious, especially like parents and kids. You have to be conscious of each other. Kids, when you tell your mom, I want to do this. I want to go out for track. Well, if your mom's working two jobs, and you have a baby sister that's 6 months old, and just take a minute, to really think about what's what has priority. Because if you're not going to help your mom juggle something, you know so you can do what you want to do, be a little considerate of somebody. The same thing applies to parents. Be aware. I mean, some parents just push their kids to achieve, 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 achieve. Make sure that you are paying attention to what your kids are saying, because there's going to come a point they cannot juggle anything else in their lives. I mean, and it can get, sometimes it can be disastrous, for everybody. So just kind of pay attention to, how many things are up in the air, okay? Because, I'm telling you that, and don't feel guilty about not being able to keep your life perfectly balanced. You juggle everything. Juggling, it can be difficult. That's just the way it is. And what you really need to do is catch it before it hits the floor. And that's what Carol Bartz says. Don't get so many things up in the air that they just come crashing down on your head. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help your family. It doesn't help your partner or your kids or your parents. Just kind of be aware of, if you can only juggle 3 balls, then that's all you need to have in the air. If you're great at multitasking, go for it. But, just kind of, be sensitive about what the other person is capable of when you ask, can I toss one more ball in your juggling act? If they say no, it's probably a good reason. All right? So, okay, so that is my rant for today. J is for juggling. Make sure that all those balls you have tossed in the air right now, they land safely in your hands and don't splatter around you. All right? So, this is Mntdewmania, and this is my Redneck Rants. And J was the letter of the day. I will catch you guys later. I'm so out of here.